family? It's the same lady here representing Team JVS. I'm back here again for another movie review. This is a Netflix original feature, but this is most likely going to be in award contention. I'm talking about Tick, Tick, Boom. This is directed by Lin-Manuel Miranda, but this is based on the writings and the amazing artistry from Jonathan Larson. Matter of fact, Andrew Garfield is playing that actual person in this film, and it's fascinating because he was responsible for works like, of course, this, but also Rent and some notable others. And so let's go ahead and kind of break it down. What did I think about this actual film? So let me read you a brief synopsis for it. On the cusp of his 30th birthday, a promising young theater composer narrates love, friendship, and pressures of life as an artist in New York City. This takes place around 1990, roughly. It threads between 1990 and 1996. But the film itself, I'll say the first thing that I really thought was interesting and engaging is just the way that Lin is able to direct this film. Like it looks gorgeous. There are shots that the blocking and the transitions are almost near perfect. Like there's a couple transition towards the second half of the film that I was like, this is great. And I'm not just talking about like scene to scene transition, but musical transitions. Like sometimes, you know, you have like a musical number that it just kind of comes out of nowhere and it kind of feels really telegraphed. Like with this one, at first it was doing that, but then eventually it's kind of like, it was just beautiful. There's a rich moment that happens in the very third to the back half of the second act with Andrew Garfield and another character, Michael, played by Robin de Jesús. And it's such a powerful moment and song and just the transition. Like I was really captivated by what was happening, because the thing about this story, this is all based on truth, but it also has a lot of fantastical elements in the way that it's being crafted, in the way that things are happening on the actual screen. Because the main character, Jonathan, like he makes jingles out of everything. He makes music out of anything and everything. And so a lot of times he's going and doing things and he's seeing literal music notes or seeing something he wants to write. And I thought that was really fascinating. Like I actually really love that, because it feels like the beginning stages of a musical genius. It's just that Jonathan, he also has a girlfriend, and her name was Susan. That was played by Alexandra Shipp. Last thing I saw her play in was, of course, Storm in the X-Men films. And he's just so driven that, one, he's a tortured artist, he's not making that much money, and he's trying to get his playwright off the ground, and yet also trying to balance like his relationships with people, specifically his relationship with Susan. Now, this also does star Vanessa Hudgens in this film, and also MJ. I think it is Michaela Jai Rodriguez. She plays the role of Carol, and she also was big in the show Pose, even though I haven't seen it. But in terms of performances, I think that I can absolutely say that Andrew Garfield was committed. Like all of them, you know, were committed to their roles as individuals. Like every character feels like a fleshed out organic character. Absolutely. The thing about Andrew Garfield in this is that there's a lot of demand of this character, because the character or the person is a musician. Like they can legit sing and dance and have a lot of things going on. All the immersive emotional moments, all the different nuances in the way that the character or the person used to move. They actually show like the last scenes, they show like the actual person and kind of how he was maneuvering around and stuff like that. And he got the mannerisms perfectly, like the sound, the voice, the compassion, and also the revolving door of his subconscious, and that he just could not see past what he needed to do at the time. It was always something that was kind of keeping him driven, but at the same time holding him back, which is fascinating because Andrew nails that about this character. The hard thing that I'm gonna say, and I want you guys to take it with a grain of salt, is that the singing, it is attempted very strong. Like, it is attempted, but it's just not. It's not as strong or as powerful as the performance that he's actually doing. Even though I give him all the credit for actually committing to it. Vanessa Hudgens and Alexandra Shipp, I think that their vocals are just amazing. Now, I will say this, that towards the second half, the music does ramp up, specifically with the character Michael. Like, there are some emotionally amazing, like, musical numbers. And it's not even off of some dancing. It's the scenery, it's the blocking, it's the transition, it's the moment. And they're allowing such an actor in Andrew Garfield to really just go for it, in all honesty. Like, even if it's like, man, I don't know if he hit that note well, like, he attempted it, and you can feel it, you can see it, that he's all the way immersed himself into this character, which is very fascinating to actually watch from a character from a person I actually didn't really know. So in terms of the music, there are some really good ones. There's some good songs, man. Like, there's some really good tracks on the soundtrack. The score, I thought, was very strong. And again, as far as the acting, I think everybody kind of committed to what they were trying to do. The emotionally resonant moments for me were easily with, like I said, Robin and Andrew, with John and Michael. But the other thing that I was going to say is that the story is very fascinating. At first, I was kind of like, oh, well, I don't know, this is going to go and fall down this line where it's like, oh, we're going to talk about like this because we need this to be a musical number. We need this to be like fit into that musical mode or cater to that. Like, no, like, there are some real, raw, emotionally resonant things and themes that are really happening in this one that I've really truly appreciated. And I think that it is a fine film. I highly recommend you go and check it out. I'd rest this at like 8.5 out of 10. I enjoyed this so much more as it progressed. By the time I got to the second act, I was like actually really starting to get really invested in seeing where and how and what was really happening at all times. So, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this review of Tick, Tick, Boom. I'll talk to you guys later on. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe, hit that bell button. Peace, guys.